Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. So, over the past weekend, one of my besties from Las Vegas came to visit me here in Georgia for a visit. It was a special girl weekend, which was long overdue. And as someone who's known me since I was a young adult, she shared some special insights about me that were completely blind to me. We talked about past relationships, current relationships, business, family, just all things. And this is a friend when I got diagnosed with lupus back over, I don't know, almost 2 decades ago. Um, and I fell into deep depression at the time. And she said to me, "You're going to be fine. It's not going to kill you. So get over it." Like it was like a slap in the face almost. And it felt so cold and it sounded so harsh on the surface, but it was something. Um, it was so compassionate coming from her. So she is and can be very harsh on the surface level, but she is the most compassionate yet strong, practical, and resilient person that I know. So in my early years with lupus, I felt she didn't understand, and I was kind of hurt, but it wasn't so much that she didn't understand, it was more that I chose to adopt a victim mindset. So again, that was more of my thinking process that made her out to be the villain almost. And now that we can talk about it, now that I'm over it, but at the time it felt very harsh and cold, I remember. And it took years for me to kind of get over that. And then through the process of really self discovery and self exploration, I realized a lot of the things, the limiting things that I set for myself, are all because of my own thinking. I realize now how insecure I was with constant struggle at the time with rash on my face and drastic hair loss that just didn't seem to stop. With every one of my besties getting married, I felt like I was broken. At the time, I remember not caring so much about my sickness as much as I was deathly afraid of what others thought of my rashes and my hair loss. I was more interested in looking good and looking the part than even my sickness at the time. So it was just so upside down my priorities. And I remember feeling like it meant everything to me that I looked normal with my thick hair and porcelain skin that I tried so hard to maintain at the time. In retrospect, it was short sighted of me. And I realized just how we feel about ourselves are really dependent on how we feel and look. Really, how we look. I have lots of patients who are going through the struggles with autoimmunity that manifest physically into sometimes inability to freely move that makes them feel broken, or they have rashes on their skin, or significant hair loss, and it's that time where they have to negotiate between what was to what is and then try to make the best of it, and that's when they're just going frantic. And I remember that feeling so well, because that feeling of just that fear and anxiety and the unknown that just shakes you up to the core, it's not the best feeling in the world. So, our best, I don't know if you guys know, but we do have a supplement store. And our best selling supplement is really our beauty support for skin, hair, and nails for lupus. To me, true beauty is when you can manifest health. So, let's think about why this sells the most. Healthy skin, nails, and hair, all signs of health. Mobility, flexibility, strength, and stability are also signs of health. And our mental and emotional adaptability are also signs of health as well. And my insecurities began long before my lupus. So it's sort of like, okay, we talk about the beauty and autoimmunity and health right now. But do you see how a lot of how we feel about ourselves drives how beautiful or ugly or broken we feel? And so I'm just kind of taking you on to my emotional state before lupus. And this is something that I come to realize in my 40s now. I didn't know it at the time. So I feel like this is a significant thing that I want to share because this is what I see in my patients, right? So My insecurities began long before lupus. Traumatic events as a young girl shaped who I became. This is what I found out after the fact. There was so much shame associated with who I was and what I experienced that at times it was paralyzing. And I constantly remember fighting through this, right? By doing more, by proving myself all the time. And I still have that tendency even to this day. And I remember trying so hard to fit in all my life because as an immigrant who had to learn a new language at just 11 years old, my accent wasn't all that impressive. Like I couldn't speak the language, and my inability to understand the lyrics of the pop songs at the time and being called out for my cultural differences, like eating kimchi was shameful, were all things that made me significantly insecure. Everything I was so bad, and it was everything everybody else was, was what I was trying to aspire to. And I really didn't even know that I was trying to do that. To add to this, at just 80 years old, me and my three siblings were left in Korea almost as orphans while my parents settled into the United States. So 8, 9, 10, 11, almost 3.5 years it took before we were able to come and be joined as a family. So I think that period of time was really, really dark and hard. All this to say, I understand the significant impact that our childhood trauma and or experiences have in shaping who we are. It wasn't until lupus, marriage, kids, a divorce, and sickness that I learned the important or impact of our repressed feelings. On the surface, I looked happy, well adjusted, confident. But underneath the pretense, anxiety, fear, and insecurities ruled my life. And this is really seriously our what we must learn to metabolize, detoxify, and eliminate from our lives. And that's exactly what I teach in our autoimmune health transformation program, because I find that to be the most important key factor in you overcoming, well, I take that back. We never overcome. We just have to live through and come out on the other side as stronger beings, right? So it's the transformation that's required. And the only way to overcome our fear is through courage, right? And to muster up courage takes intentional action. And to take necessary actions, we must examine our feelings. And in order to understand our feelings, we must understand our thoughts. So, in essence, it comes down to our thoughts as a culprit to everything that we're creating in our lives. So, really let that sink in. So, my friend that I was telling you about has always had a determined outlook in life, while I was stuck in limited beliefs, these patterns that prevented me from daring greatly. So, I always pulled back while she was always charging ahead. And it really, in our 30s, that really played out. And I saw where I was to where she was. And the only difference that we had the same level of education, we had the same background. The only thing that set us apart was our mindset. And so it wasn't until my near death experience just last year and through the series of flares that I had, I grew to finally understand just how important our mindset is. So, for those of you listening who believe the importance of beauty and health, I just want to share just a simple perspective, and maybe that might add to your insight. So, the truth is, you are just beautiful just as you are, just nothing needs to change. The more you can focus on creating health in your life, the more you will manifest beauty from within. See, beauty comes from within you, and creating health from within will allow you to exude wisdom, joy, health, healthy skin, hair, nails, even positive attitude, even mobility in the way you move, flexibility, and strength. Because you don't want to just sit statically and look beautiful. And if your hair's all sprayed and then the moment the wind blows, like everything goes, right? You know what I'm talking about. You need to be able to move even with no makeup on your face, if you can have this vibrancy from within, a big smile, thick, nice hair, good skin, these are things that we can be, that can be established from within. No amount of plastic surgery will fix the insecurities that lie within, right? So, really, health and beauty is an inside job, is the point that I want to make. This is a perspective shift that I want to offer. And recipe to beauty and health is your willingness to commit to your healing. And self-healing journey is a long game for us, especially because we live with autoimmunity. It's not something we adapt for a short time and then be done and expect to be cured. So our definition of beauty will change too as we get older in different phases of our lives. And having lived through the pretense as a young adult, I know that true beauty is when you know your self worth. It's confidence that you exude that does not depend on the ways of the world and what other people define beauty. It truly depends on your deep connection to yourself and knowing thyself, so much so that you can now exude self respect, regard, and self love that commands the same from those all around you. That was the missing thing in my life for so long. So, whether you're going through a difficult flare right now, or you're struggling with unknowing symptoms of autoimmunity and you haven't nailed down what you've got going on physically, please know this. The moment you can step into your own power, committed to your own mind body mastery, true healing will begin. Do not give that power away to anybody, not the doctors, not anybody. That's the perspective shift that I want you to have. And that's the work we're doing together that makes our program so unique. As an autoimmune patient who wanted to look and feel the best, to look and feel the part always, I know that it takes much more than fragmented treatments and diet, supplements, meds, etc. Because I've kind of searched all around and I've tried them all, right? It's a carefully orchestrated whole body approach to healing that will catapult you into stepping into first yourself as the driver of your health to create lasting beauty and health that can be unlocked only within you. That's the guidance and the mentorship that we offer. I hope you trust me and join me in our movement. And did you know that you can personally work with me as your one stop coach or health coach who can help you to drastically alter the trajectory of your health? I do things like no other practitioners or doctors would do. I go the full length and I realize that it's a full body approach, whole body approach, not taking you in bits and pieces, but I put you or I drive a different perspective and I'm going to do and say and treat you in different ways like you've never experienced before. So, I really highly recommend you join me in my Facebook group, Tribe of the Autoimmune Health Rebels, where I share not only the information because, information's abound on internet. If you've got a computer, you can consume information. But what we need is the application every single day of what we learn to use this information or applied information and use autoimmunity as a catalyst to look better, feel better, and move better. And that switch can only happen from the inside. And it's very freeing experience that you'll walk away feeling so revived and powerful. And you'll never look to other practitioners to fix you any longer. You'll know exactly what to do every single day of your life. I'd love to work with you. So I recommend you set up a free consultation to find out if you're the right fit for our program. And so go ahead and head on over to that private Facebook group. The link is below. And then you want to reach out to Leslie. Leslie Alkaline. And then you can request a private consultation to see if you're the right fit for our program. And I don't take anybody who's not willing to commit to the self exploration and the long game that we're part of. This is the one time shop or one stop shop for all your needs with my background to gather all that information to fight with you and mentor you through your journey is what we offer. So I hope to see you in our group. I'm looking so much forward to getting to know you. Remember, knowing doesn't do anything. It's only when you apply the knowledge that the needs or the needle moves in the direction to set the things in motion towards your ultimate self healing journey. So join my Facebook group. The link is below. And again, DM Leslie Alkaline for a free consultation to help you to catapult your health towards healing. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys all soon.